Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the International Wildcard Invitational. I'm Atlas. This is Spawn, and we're up for our second game. The Chiefs are going to be taking on Detonation FocusMe after the Bangkok Titans really dealt with KLG.
Yeah, they certainly did. They came through. They pretty much smashed the game, wound it up in pretty convincing fashion, and now they're through to the playoffs. On the other side of the rift, we have two very polar opposite sides right now. The Chiefs, they came in, they beat Ints first game. They were looking fantastic, really moving through. So since then, they've dropped 2 straight. They're now 2-2, and they're coming up against the Detonation FocusMe lineup that they looked god-awful day one. Don't get me wrong, but coming into yesterday, something clicked. Udapon went absolute massive on Vayne. They had a Shyvana running around the map, some weird AP Corki, and they were able to really put together some solid team fights.
Yeah, and they described it as, we just wanted to pick the champions that we want to play, and they picked up a victory off it. It does go to show that comfort is exactly what you're going to be doing. But, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a look at how the Chiefs managed to get here and what they're thinking moving into this tournament.
So we have competed abroad before, about a year ago at WCG, but since our hiatus from the international scene, it definitely feels awesome to be back here again, competing abroad.
I think as a team, we would really like to take out this tournament because we want to put OC on the map. It's known as probably one of the weaker regions, and I don't think a lot of us believe that, so we just want to show what we got.
I think the toughest team heading into it will be the Turkish team. Just based on the videos that we've watched, they seem the most structured and individually probably the best players. So yeah, looking forward to playing them. They seem like a solid team.
As a team, our goal is definitely to win. It sounds really cliche, everyone wants to win, but I definitely think we have enough. Our players are really talented. We've practiced a lot. Our teamwork is really good. I think we definitely can be the best team at Wildcards, and our goal is to win.
Oceania as a region is definitely developing really fast at the moment, and before, us and Legacy were only really the teams that were arguably at a top level, but now with all this young talent coming through and the region developing really quickly, I think we're ready to make an impact on the global stage.
Competing abroad, it's kind of a weird feeling because it's not the same as being at home, because it's kind of like it's an outside environment. It's really different because like being in Turkey is, I mean, we've been to Germany before and China, and like Turkey is just, it's really like busy, like everywhere is just going. So I guess, I don't know.
Oceanic esports has really developed this past year with the OPL, the introduction of the OPL. I mean, all teams kind of somewhat getting more of a salary pay rather than just purely from tournaments. I think just based off that infrastructure, it encourages a lot more players, a lot more depth within Oceania, and I think that will definitely reflect in the amount of skill that the top level, that the top Oceanic team, so us, would demonstrate.
And you can see, ladies and gentlemen, the Chiefs more than proud to be representing the Oceanic region and showing that they do have a lot of up-and-coming talent. There's been a lot of upsets throughout the Oceanic region, especially just recently. A whole lot of different teams taking that top spot, and it is going to be the Chiefs, of course, have been former champions, but there have been some changes moving forward.
Yeah, there certainly has, and you see that they're all very hungry. They were coming into this tournament expecting to do good things, so missing playoffs would be an absolute... It would be crushing for this team. So you have to see how they come onto the rift against Detonation FocusMe. This is a team with relatively little to lose now. Detonation FocusMe going to play another 2 games, so they can still end 3-3 and would have the head-to-head against Besiktas if they do beat them later on today, which can put them in good stead to still make playoffs. So these guys aren't out of it yet either, but if they lose this game against the Chiefs, they can pretty much cancel any campaign they hope to take to MSI. Puts the Chiefs in a relatively okay position. If they win both games today, they're outright second seed, I believe, due to the fact of how the heads-to-heads will work unless we get some crazy 4-2s in there from everyone else. So Both teams really have to win if they want to continue at all within this tournament, and everything is on the line.
Yeah, and it's looking a lot like 4-2 is going to be something that everyone is going to be getting to. It's sort of like the Converse shoe of this particular tournament. Everyone seems to be wearing it. I've watched a lot of Chuck recently, but of course, it looks like a popular scoreline heading through here. We might have some massive ties moving into the end of the day.
You took a right turn in the middle of that sentence, and I did not jump on at all throughout the end of it.
I honestly think left most of my brain behind.
That's absolutely fine. I want to talk about AD carries, not Converses, and Radiant versus Unipon is going to be absolutely the show match to watch in this one. Radiant, a very flashy AD in his own right. We saw him when he was at his best, flashing in on Sivir, trying to pick up those extra kills. Unipon is a duelist. Radiant does like to team fight, so I think he actually can throw Radiant off his game if he picks up something like Sivir and then just tries to fight him in lane, because Radiant, very calculated play. You can even hear from the way he talks, very respectful, very knowledgeable about the game, and tries to carry that over. But if Unipon is able to get inside of his head, and if he can tilt anyone on the team, it probably is their bottom lane in Radiant and Rosie, and really throw them off their game. I think it will be Kazu and Unipon.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, and this is a team that has come through. They've picked up victories playing on their comfort champions. They're saying, okay, to hell with it. We just want to play what makes us happy, and that's how they're going to go into this one. And the Chiefs, if they don't get early advantages, can often fall apart, and we saw that yesterday.
Yeah, exactly right. They need to get an early advantage. They're picking scaling comps, which any Oceanic fan out there just looks really strange.
So
These
weird.
are guys that popularized Elise jungle on the current patch to try and destroy scaling compositions before they got to the late game. All of a sudden, they're on the hype train, and I think that they are the first people that have to abandon ship.
Yeah.
They need to do what Detonation FocusMe did so well yesterday and get back on comfort champions, play your style of League of Legends.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. I actually had a recent conversation with Swiffer saying, you guys look the best when you're comfortable. Why don't you just play that all of the time? And he didn't really have a good enough answer for me, and I hope that maybe he's listened.
Yeah, maybe he will have to come through and show us something here. I really think that this is one of the polarizing parts of the tournaments. This is going to tell us so much about what playoffs will look like, which team will be able to scrape their way there, and everything really is on the line, Atlas. This is going to be intense.
It is most certainly going to be intense. We're going to have champ select very, very soon, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see whether Detonation FocusMe continue their trend of just let's pick up the comfort champions. And you can see already into that champion select, already through the bans as well as the Chiefs. They've locked away the Gragas here for Spooks, and you have a little bit of experience convincing Spooks of the fact that Gragas is a good jungler.
Yeah, Gragas, a very good jungler on the current patch. Spooks has picked that up recently and looks extremely comfortable. I thought the 3 bans that the Chiefs were going to see the entirety of this after the LeBlanc game was going to be Gragas, Hecarim, and LeBlanc if you were on the red side. But it does look like they're happy to give the Gragas over, instead choosing to ban away the Nautilus.
And Rosie looked good on that champion.
Yeah, on the side of Detonation FocusMe, they've picked up Shyvana as well as Corki. You would assume that Syros in the mid lane picking that one up, but we'll have to see.
Goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, Swiffer, most definitely a notable Ahri player. We saw it left open. We saw his LeBlanc, how powerful that was. He's better on Ahri.
Yeah, exactly right. This is the thing that really was amusing coming into this one, as they flashed a Tryndamere as well. Do not be mistaken, Swiper's favorite champion is Tryndamere. Will be willing to take that into the top lane, although it looks like they're happy to run some tanks. They pick up Morgana as support and the Maokai in the top.
Yeah, well, at least Swiffer knows that Ahri is available and in his champion roster. So he's remembered it, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully we may see that one come through as Detonation FocusMe making some quick choices.
Yeah, they've hovered a Sivir as well as a Rek'Sai.
Oh man, the mid Corki yet again.
Yeah, so a mid Corki coming through. This is once again a double AD carry composition. They've got the huge tanky threat in the top lane, so they've got a good front line as well. And the thing is, we mentioned Rek'Sai in 3-man groups. The knock-up is so hard to dive. Once again, they can push out waves with Udapon and Bonzen, set up sieges around the map, rotate around extremely quickly with the Sivir. I like where Detonation FocusMe's composition's going. A little bit more to their comforts once again. And once again, Chiefs look like they're just playing standard.
Yeah, Chiefs more than happy. But these are comfort picks here. Rosie, a fantastic Morgana player. Of course, Swiper played close to 60% of his OPL games on the Maokai, and Spooks has looked very comfortable on the Gragas just recently. So picking comfort, something that we said would be a good idea, and it seems like both of these teams have been taking that one through. Of course, Swiffer with some experience against Corky Mid, but I believe it was a couple of years ago against Heaven's Curse from the Oceanic region.
Yeah, it certainly was. So we see now Chiefs rounding out their lineup with Illusion as well as an Orianna coming through here. Good ball carry system coming through. Two very solid carries and some protection for Radier. So we'll have to see whether they have enough damage to take down Bonzen. Bonzen has a real potential here to run over the top of the Chiefs lineup. I think they do lack a little bit of the damage coming through, but Bonzen currently a sole tank, and there's not many tanky supports left. Something like a Leona might work. Alistair's another one that you can go for, but they're nearly running a solo tank lineup here unless Asatore can really get going.
Yeah, and I guess Asatore is going to be able to pick up the Cinderhulk if he wants to, as Kazu thinking about a Nami's is going to lock that one in, so that is about as far from a tank as you can get without being Sonar.
Yeah, it certainly is, but what they do have once again with Janna being banned is they have this three-man unit that is extremely hard to dive. You can't dive Nami, you can't dive Rek'Sai. There's just too many layering of CCs to come through. And who runs with Bonzen? There is no option here to shut down the Shyvana. He's going to be absolutely massive wherever he goes. Maokai's not going to be able to force him off farm. You can almost guarantee that. And the Chiefs do not have a split pushing threat.
No. I mean, Swiffer generally is the team's split pusher, but on Orianna, they need all that utility and potential team fights.
Yeah, exactly right. And even Orianna not going to be able to solo out the Shyvana once the second, third item comes through. So we'll have to see how this one works out for the Chiefs. I think that just from the pick ban phase, they have a better team fight, but the composition that Detonation FocusMe is running is extremely hard to deal with. They have the wave clear coming through from Corky as well as Siva. Even deals with the Baron up minion pretty well because of the magic damage is not really there. It's just going to be a lot of AD coming through, and we'll have to see how it works out on the Rifts. You feel that either team, if they get an early advantage, might be able to run away with this one.
Yeah, well, seems to be the aim of the game here is going to be those early advantages, making sure that they can get in amongst it. But you mentioned wave clear, and if you want 280 carries in your lineup and you want wave clear, these are the perfect champions for that. You've got the Boomerang and the Phosphorus Bomb, and that's all you need.
Yeah, exactly right. You send one Boomerang across, all of a sudden Corky can just clear up every piece of CS. Even if you're down, you have relatively good anti-siege. You can't dive, as we mentioned, unless you go absolutely massive on Maokai. I think that, Detonation FocusMe, I like their comp. I like what it brings.
Well, we'll see whether it works out, ladies and gentlemen, but you have to think that Bonzen going to have a lot of attention there on the top side of the map because they have to keep that Shyvana down. We are going to start, ladies and gentlemen, with another pause, but we'll talk through it. It'll be fine. Don't you worry, and we'll be into that game as soon as possible.
Yeah, exactly right. And you mentioned the Camp Bonzen style. This is something that they ran, especially against carry top laners, and Bonzen appears to be that way on the Shyvana, so they're more than happy to send Spooks up there every single time. And we'll take a look at their standings while we're waiting. Bangkok Titans now on top, 4-1. They can finish the day 5-1 if they are able to beat out the Chiefs.
Yeah, and that is on, I believe, our second last or final game of the day. Second last is going to be the fourth game of the day. Ints as well with a couple more to play. We'll see how they finish off. Of course, only one more to play. That's not a couple. I just can't count, and I think I'll put it over to you there, Spawn.
Yeah, all right, cool. So the big ones here coming in is Bangkok Titans hard random secured. And now it's out of the next four teams. Ints, Chiefs, Besiktas, and Detonation FocusMe to make a push there. As you can see, if Chiefs win 2 games now, they would have beaten Bangkok Titans, so they'll have the head-to-head advantage. So whilst all the teams will be 4-2, there will be some crazy, weird 3-way tiebreak. There will be another team that also follows them in. So this is the schedule we got. Chiefs versus Detonation FocusMe now. Then Ints take on KLG. You would expect from what we just saw that Ints would be in the driver's seat for that game.
Yep.
But we've definitely
This is a KLG
seen
with nothing
things.
to lose.
Yeah,
though.
exactly right. So that would also put Ints onto 4-2. Then the next really important game, especially if you're an Oceanic viewer, is the game 4 of the day, which is Bangkok Titans versus Chiefs. Chiefs must win that one to qualify. And then Detonation FocusMe, they'll round that out with Besiktas.
Yeah, and we'll see whether Detonation FocusMe can continue potential momentum if this game goes well. But they've had a we've got nothing to lose style, and it's worked out for them so far. And we'll see whether they can take it through to this game and through to the final.
Yeah, exactly right. And I like what you're mentioning, the nothing to lose. KLG, Detonation FocusMe, they're in that similar situation right now where all you can do is win. You're relying on other people to lose if you are Detonation FocusMe, or rather, I guess, some very big upsets to go through. So if all they do is win, they have a very good chance of making it because they'll win some of their head-to-head. So all you can do is keep chugging along, keep winning. Same if you're the Chiefs. You have to win both. That secures you your spot. Then you don't have to worry about anything. KLG, they're trying to battle for a little bit of Latin America pride right now. So all they can do is really throw caution to the wind, play their brand of League of Legends, and try and take it to Ints as well. So across the board, we have some teams that can now shake off some, I guess, early nerves from day 1 and 2. It's the last day of the group stage, and just go out there and play some good, aggressive League of Legends.
Yeah, and they've got to make sure that they're playing exactly their game as well. We've seen a lot of these teams, the reason that they fall apart is because they're dictated to in a way that they're not used to. They don't know how to play a lot of these separate styles because this is a clash of so many regions.
Yeah, exactly right. You come in, and also, you got to remember, these are the top teams from every region. So
yeah,
a lot of the teams, especially like the likes of Chiefs, the likes of Detonation FocusMe, they're not used to losing games. They're not used to teams really taking it to them. These guys have been on top for a pretty long time. Chiefs lost some majors last year, but they were still probably undisputably the best team in the Oceanic region. LJL, relatively new, but Detonation FocusMe seems to hold a similar flair over there going through. So you have to think that these guys, they're not used to falling behind. They're not used to having to battle these games out. So every game that they do it, it really is a big test, and we're finding out something new.
Yeah, and the Chiefs actually had a next to flawless series there in the OPL. They dropped one game in the entire season.
They were 14,000 gold ahead in, by the way. So the game they lost, they were 14,000 gold and 6 turrets up.
Yeah, so a game that they probably shouldn't have lost is what Spawn meant there. But we are on to the Rift, ladies and gentlemen. The Chiefs from Oceania taking on Detonation FocusMe from Japan. We'll see who comes out on top because both of these teams, this game is so important.
Yeah, it certainly is. And you see the early group up from the Chiefs. Yesterday, they were beaten by a good lane swap, so straight away they're moving in there with the Morgana, trying to secure a level 1 advantage, get some deep wards down. Nice ward come out of Radiant, make sure they don't get collapsed on, and they're trying to find this Shyvana early.
Yeah, they possibly could too as they're moving towards that top side. Bonzen already up there. As the Chiefs just getting down as much deep vision as they possibly can. They will get the ward over the wall. Bonzen going to spot that one out. And Radier and Swiffer are going to head back to base. So Chiefs successful movement around the map, picks themselves up some vision.
But probably a better ward actually coming through from Kazu in that bottom lane. It's going to spot out between the two turrets.
Oh, it has been pinged though.
Yeah, so they know it's there, so they're going to wait. So they will secure the 1v1 lanes you would hope coming through as Kazu as well as Udapon. They've stayed on the bottom side of the map. Rosie and Radier are down there as well. Please, one of you change your name so there's not so many R's in your bottom lane. But they will be able to get the 2v2 standard lanes secured for both teams.
You're talking about R's in the bottom lane when the whole rest of the team starts with S.
That's fine. I can deal with those guys.
I can't. Swiper and Swiffer? You try that in a team fight. Ridiculous.
That's why you're the play-by play. As they start up, the Gromp, you see the Astator, he was happy to smite that one because it gives him the Gromp aura. And then he can just go solo out his blue pretty quickly, and he has some sustain because he's Rek'Sai, who is a female, but Astatore is a male coming through there. That's
nicely
why I keep
done.
saying
Well gendered.
Yep, so they'll be able to get the early level 2 if they're able to push out Udapon and Kazu. In the bottom lane, Rosie and Radier, they didn't pick up anything, so unless they can really shove out this wave, they're going to be in a little bit of early trouble.
Yeah, Piercing Light is going to be helpful there, and of course having that puddle level 1 for Rosie is going to be helpful as well, but of course level 2 going to be achieved right now, in fact, from our Detonation FocusMe bottom lane.
Kazu so deep already.
Yeah, Dark Binding actually going to find the Nami here as Rosie skilling that one up first, but bottom lane from the Chiefs is going to be zoned early on. Udapongo, though, pushing relentlessly.
Yeah, so Udapon shoving that one in. They won't lose out on any CS, though, because they weren't able to control the wave. Instead, it was a full shove. So Radier should be able to pick up the majority of these minions.
Oh, all of them so far.
Rosie
is he going to get it? Oh, there it is.
Rosie got one of them.
Still, the team managed to get all of the CS.
No,
Spawn.
Not impressed.
Okay. Well, Rosie is known as being a relatively carry-focused bottom lane player.
No Zyra, thank goodness, coming through here.
What do you mean, thank goodness? That's one of his best champions.
Gragas finishes up his jungle a little bit quicker than Astatore, who, of course, didn't have the help early on, actually had to burn Smite on a camp. He didn't finish up for that level 2, so you expect that to come through. But Udapon and Kazu, they're just repetitively shoving out this lane on Sivanami.
That being said, Radier able to stay up in farm. He's actually ahead just because of better skill last hitting under this turret, you have to think, with this Lucian.
Yeah,
sorry.
definitely. His last hitting was perfect, Atlas.
See?
We'll give it to you.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Spawn. You give me that cheek with the Rosie taking 1 CS. He managed to get all the rest of them.
He did. You were lying. You can't lie to our viewers, Atlas.
I talk about Radier as having a pocket Rosie that takes everything else for him. He's holding on to that one.
I like that. That's a good way to look at it. Also, CS distribution, something of the past, but double Bruiserblade, never forget.
We may see Blitzstar again, ladies and gentlemen. One can only hope. Tarek Garen, bring it back. Okay, let's get back into serious casting mode, though, because Swiffer going to get a ward down here in the mid lane. And how does Orianna face up against Corki? Corki with a lot of poke past level 6, but so far in the laning phase, Command Protect generally going to be strong.
Spooks has got a gank in this bottom lane, can get in. We'll see whether he can make it work. Needs to go for Kazu, you think?
Yeah, there's the flash after the body slam as well. Kazu's going to get exploded. First blood goes to Spooks, and the Gragas already rolling.
Yeah, and Flash Body Slam is an absolute mammoth gas closer early on. Not to mention the fact it's a knock-up, which is just so hard to get away from. You can follow up CC with it, and you see already the Chiefs having a much better time in this game. You were talking about the mid lane matchup. It is going to be a little bit hard for Orianna early on, more so than anything. Her wave clear will start to take over. But if anyone can go with an AD carry in terms of auto attack trades, it is Ori with that passive we like to talk about so much.
Yeah.
Adding a little bit more punch in there as Astatore, looking for his first gank top, is spotted out by a ward.
Yeah, and we haven't spoken too much about this 1v1 matchup here on the top side as Bonzen's taken a bit of harass damage from Swiper with, of course, the sustain advantage up there. You can see able to offer back a lot of damage here with that arcane smash as well. Astatore just deciding that, you know, top lane's not where he wants to be, but Gragas, he's very, very close.
Gragas knows now as well because the Wolf Spirit just chased him out.
No,
Surely he
that
must
was
have seen that. Yeah, no, but it chased Gragas. So
yes.
if you see a Spirit all of a sudden start chasing you in your jungle, pretty good chance that someone just smited it.
Yeah, okay. Good point. Good point. Would have assumed that if you're walking around in the enemy's jungle and there's a wolf spirit there, didn't really figure on the fact that it's his jungle.
Yeah, exactly right. So coming through there, you see Udapon, even after the first blood went over, it did go to the Gragas player. He wasn't shoved off too much CS as the wave was pushing in, so they're completely even. No backs have gone through yet, so Radiant won't be able to pick up any advantage from that. As Swiffer in the mid lane, he's 6 CS behind. That's about a creep wave. It's exactly a creep wave if you don't count the cannon one. So all of a sudden, Syros, he's starting to get a little bit of an early advantage coming through, but it has been Spooks that got the early first blood in, so a 500 gold advantage over to the Chiefs.
And we'll see whether Spooks can carry that through as well, really affect these lanes. Swiffer is able to get the command protectors. Astatore looking for something. They get the flashes. Kazu moving towards mid, and Swiffer says, all right, I'm out of here.
Yeah, exactly right. Just wants to go back. Probably going to pick up an early Morella Nomicon for himself just to be able to sustain in this lane. Spooks will pick up some farm. Actually, going for the Athene's Unholy Grail, even without some of the magic damage coming through there.
Yeah, and of course, Corki going to be doing the majority of his burst damage in Magic with the rockets and, of course, the phosphorus bomb, but it is an interesting decision.
Yeah, it certainly is, and we'll have to see how it works out in the long run. Of course, much better teamfight item as they tag up Kazu again. Udapon a little bit late on that spell shield. Radiant-esque, some would say.
That's rude.
Oh, his spell shields
They
were
were bad. They were pretty terrible. You are correct. But Udapongo just going to make him feel a little bit better about himself there on the bottom side, missing that Piercing Light, which is a difficult spell to spell shield anyway. Swiper does a beautiful job with that Arcane Smash and the Sapling to clear out the back wave.
And all of a sudden, they've timed the blue buff transfer perfectly with the first Dragon. They send 3 members up there. There was also a back that came through from Rosie. Radiant hasn't shopped, so they're not in really much danger of getting this one stolen away. And it looks like Detonation FocusMe will pick this one up for free.
Yeah, Chiefs just saying, okay, we don't have enough people. We're not going to be able to...
know.
Well, the bottom lane's gone.
Yeah, so they will probably know now, but it's also a good time to recall for the bottom lane.
Whoa, Bonzen uses the ultimate there on the top side, but Swiper, we've spoken about this guy's Maokai before. I mean, he does play aggressively, but Shyvana unable to stay in this lane.
Yeah, actually didn't push hard enough, Swiper there, so it might freeze a little bit off to the side of the lane because that that creep will hold them up just a tiny bit, then all stack up, push into his lane. He's playing well, but now that the skirmishes stave has been finished up with that Cinderhulk,
wow.
do not expect him to get much more bullying. In fact, Shyvana is relatively well known for just ignoring you as a laner and farming creeps instead of you. You get a lot of CS when you're against a Shyvana unless you get some incidental damage down on you, so Swiper will definitely farm up. As you can see, he's looking a little bit nervous in the bottom left of the screen, biting his lip, not looking too happy there for some reason. But he has got an early advantage in being able to at least get to the point where he's going to be mid-game relevant.
Yeah, certainly looking serious. That being said, Swiffer now with a level advantage slightly here and has evened up the farm almost completely.
Yeah, it certainly has. His Orianna is really good in the mid-game, so he'll be able to farm up an absolute storm. Expect him to maybe even start getting ahead of Syros, who grabs the extra CS there, so he'll reclaim a 1 CS lead.
Oh, look, we'll keep you updated, ladies and gentlemen, on the 1 or 2 CS gap here in the mid lane that may occur based on last hitting. Oh, that dissonance was huge as Swiffer locks down another one. Oh, and a second. Beautiful work here in this mid lane, but misses the final melee
And all
minion.
of a sudden, Spooked, who we normally call Swiffer's shadow, isn't in the mid lane, and they're sending Kazu as well as Asator back here. He's held it off the turret really importantly, and wow, he's going aggressive.
Yeah, there's the shockwave for Swiffer with no flash, unable to do anything, and the ebb and flow adding insult to injury. Detonation FocusMe with 3 men in the mid. They lock down the next kill of the game.
Yeah, and they're looking to hard shove the mid lane turret as well. Spooks needed to get there earlier as he throws out the ultimate to just keep the turret safe. So you got to think that's another win for Detonation FocusMe as they take a blue buff away from Orianna and give a kill over to the Corki.
Yeah, really terrifying stuff coming through as...
Wow, and I have to mention something.
Yeah.
That is a full AP Corki this time around. He's not going for the Trinity Force. He's picking up a Morellonomicon.
That is very strange. Saros did in fact go for that Trinity Force into Leandry's, I believe, in the last game that they played. But
all right, so I'm going to correct you there. That's not strange. That is outright a bad build as Yutapon in a lot of trouble.
yeah, Radier uses the Relentless Pursuit to escape there. Does blow the heel as Yutapongo actually running away with the ult. Tidal Wave to come down. Nice black shield as Yutapong. He's going to get taken down. The 2v2 victory
Swipe
comes
is
through
there
for the
as well.
Chiefs. And Maokai coming through the back. Flash into the Twisted Advance. Gets the knock up as well as there's a Ventral Maelstrom. Spooks comes through. Could pick up the kill if he wants, but Swiper's going to net it as Spooks happy to give that one over to his solo laner. And Radier's getting rolling. The tree's getting rolling as well. Detonation FocusMe. They might be able to take down the first turret, though.
Yeah, they're looking to get in on the first major objective of the game after that Dragon also fell in their favor, but 2 kills going across to the Chiefs will definitely start their members rolling at least, get some excitement going in the team. It really is only Swiffer who's currently falling a little bit far behind, and the Chiefs looking to answer in the bottom lane.
Yeah, Athene's Unholy Grail is almost completed here for Swiffer, though, and of course has had a lot of focus by the Detonation FocusMe lineup, and you have to think that did allow them to get a
nearly got it.
Yeah.
They're going for maybe a dive in the mid lane, though. Swiffer needs to be very careful.
I believe that Swiffer probably, you know, the once bitten, twice shy factor going to be helping him out here as Detonation FocusMe have been focusing Swiffer more than anything else. Is hanging very, very deep under that
They've got 3
turret.
members once again in here. They'll be able to take out the turret because no collapse coming through from the Chiefs. And they're just completely zoned. Wow.
Beautiful shockwave gets Saros out of the turret range, but okay. Not going to quite get there. Nice flash.
Yeah, had to burn flash. Really good ultimate coming through from Spooks. Now they've sent Swiper in here as well. Yutapon, in the meanwhile, got some free time in the bottom lane. Radier was sitting on about 2,000 gold. Had to go back. He's nearly finished up that Infinity Edge, but now Detonation FocusMe with superior objective control, you have to say, at this part of the game, has been able to pick up a gold lead. They've got a Dragon as well, and they might even be able to push in on this mid lane turret.
Yeah, they are going to head back to base at the moment, of course. Kazu hanging around just to get some vision down. Swiper heading back to base as well as he shoves the wave in. CS very even between these top laners. Bonzo not going for any aggressive choices. His second item just wants that Giant's Belt for some extra tankiness.
Yeah, so able to get in there. Kazu actually shoved that lane for his team. I don't know why he did it exactly. It probably won't mean anything, but just because you use CC on the creeps, it means they can't auto-attack. Obviously, yours can auto-attack. If you do it to a back lane, it will start shoving
Yeah.
against you. So, like, it's obviously going to mean nothing because they're 2 wave clear champions, but just something to point out to the viewers at home. That's why you generally don't use CC on creep lines, because it pushes against you.
Yep, Rosie hanging around here. Thank you for the sweet creep
I like
wave information.
creep wave.
I know you do. I learned how to freeze a wave because of your information, and I learned what a slow push was a little while back. Good news. Thank you very much, Spawn. In the meantime, though, Seros does have a few friends here in the Chiefs who are hanging around, but he is going to make his way back towards the mid. Rosie now finally giving Swiffer a little bit of attention here in the mid lane because there have been a lot of...
Has been here for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Sort of forgotten which AD carry he's supporting, I believe.
Yeah, as well. Spook's going in.
Yeah, Astatore is in a little bit of trouble here, taking a lot of damage. Swiper looking for something. Twisted Advance wasn't there. Righteous Glory was used as Spooks. Flashes over, picks it up with the final auto attack. Swiffer and Rosie, they're closing in. Dissonance going to speed up the tree. Just waits to get that down, and Rosie actually blows the ultimate, I believe, as well. Bonzen trying to fight back. This is a massively tanky dragon, but Swiffer locks down his first kill.
Yeah, so able to get it done there. That was a 2-for-0, but they pick up another objective. So whilst the Chiefs are chasing kills and getting a gold lead, the map is firmly in control of Detonation FocusMe, now collapsing on Radiant.
Yeah, Radiant might be in trouble here on the bottom side of the map. That turret, of course, has fallen down, so no protection to be had there. But the Dragon, it's now live. The Chiefs moving over towards it as Spooks not quite at the health that he'd otherwise like. Void Rush going to get Astatore down here to this Dragon.
They have teleport available as well. This is probably Detonation FocusMe's objective. I don't know how they fight this one.
Yeah, Spooks might be looking for some sort of body slam base steal away, as the ward in that brush does give away Rosie going for a potential engage. And no soul shackles. There are a few ultimates that are on cooldown here. As
they can engage here, and they probably will get the team fight they want.
They're looking for something as Udapongo blows the ultimate here on the hunt. Rosie's being focused as Swiper looking for something. Astatore just gets exploded, and Rosie flashes out of that fight. Radiant, he gets bubbled, but not a lot of attention on him while that goes through. And the Chiefs, they pick up a quick kill.
Yeah, so they're able to get a kill at 6-1 right now. They're dominating in that. They're just not able to grab any objectives. Detonation FocusMe have had them on lockdown. Can they defend the mid lane turret now? It looks like they can. They're backing away. Chiefs, whilst winning the little skirmishes, they're ganking a lot better. Detonation FocusMe has just got a better eye for objectives.
Yeah, and it does mean that this gold lead nowhere near what it should be at this stage. 6-1 makes you feel like the Chiefs are going to be in the control, but Detonation FocusMe 2-0 in the Dragons. They're behind by what? 900 gold? That is nothing here because they've taken down the whole outer ring of turrets. The whole outer ring of turrets. As Detonation FocusMe, they now have control of this map, like you mentioned before, and Astarot, he'll be able to take down a whole lot of the Chiefs' jungle, and he'll have so many ways to get out.
Yeah, well, I still don't know if they can invade the jungle without good vision because they are actually still weaker. So it's not like that they can use their map control more. It's just that at this point, the Chiefs have to travel much further out of base. That the waves can start shoving. It actually opens up Shyvana more than anyone, as we're seeing the components
of everything for Seros. He wants so many options. Udapongo looking to try and get out of this one. Does flash out of the way. Swiper doesn't get the memo. He wants to dive this one. Bonzen's coming through as well. Swiper
Chiefs
taking a whole lot of auto attacks, but Raid is here. Bonzen could be in trouble as Udapongo might take a bit of damage there. Bonzen does end up using the ultimate in order to escape this one, but the Chiefs, what they want is the turret. There is a lot of standing gold on the map for the Oceanic side, and they're going to take it down if they can. Bubble doesn't quite find anyone as the Boomerang's going to be used to clear out this minion wave, and Detonation FocusMe demonstrating the fact that they have wave clear for days.
Yeah, they certainly do. The rest of their members rotate up, so they're able to get a little bit more control over that top side of the map. Swiffer will head back mid lane to try and shove that one in. They need to be careful they don't get caught in rotation here, the Chiefs. Actually being fairly lazy with some ward placement on the way back through, so we'll see how that one works out. But in the end, everyone just ships in the Night Atlas, nothing much happening, but it's right back down to 100 gold only. Detonation FocusMe, they're securing some of the farm now left standing on the map, and the Chiefs not able to get any advantage.
No, Swiper down here on the bottom side, going to be able to clear out this wave pretty easily, you have to think as well.
You have to think this is now turning into a frustrating game for the Chiefs. They feel like they're beating Detonation FocusMe to these fights. They're getting the tiny team fight advantages, but by losing out on all the objectives, they're just not where they want to be in the game. And this Shyvana all the while is getting bigger and bigger. 20 CS ahead is not going to be unbearable in the late game. Bonzen really is rolling, and that's probably the only member that the Chiefs could afford to not get ahead.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. They have taken down the Shyvana once, but you're going to need to be able to deal with her in the later stages of this game, and the Chiefs probably wanted far more of a lead at this stage. Spook's going to smite away the red buff, fix that one up for himself, as Seros going to be hard shoving here in the mid lane. Might be in trouble here as Rosie's looking around for something, but...
Yeah, I want to know whether Swiffer goes Zaludan's Echo here, or whether he just goes Death Cap into Leandries. I think that actually if they go Leandries, he has a better chance of dealing with a Shyvana who's going to be health stacking. There will, of course, be 2 Cinder Hulks coming through as well. Some of the flat penetration early really does help out Oriana's kit. So we'll have to see whether he does make the adaptation that we've been seeing or just goes a very standard build with all the AP in there.
Yeah, and of course, the Rabadons plus the Athene's on Holy Grail, always a fantastic power spike just to have as much shield control and everything like that as well. Of course, Oriana able to use that AP both offensively and defensively, meaning that, you know, magic penetration not quite as important for that champion, but you're exactly right. They need someone who can build something to deal with this Shyvana.
Yeah, exactly right. They just need a way to shred the tanks because Radier, he's not going to be able to do it by himself. They have some percentage health damage coming through on Spooks with the Gragas, but that's probably not going to get it done in the late game either. Once again, same thing on Maokai, very similar situation with the W, but he doesn't do ridiculous amounts of damage, especially with the Righteous Glory build. So you can see Bonzen, he's having a free time. There's no way that he can force the Maokai off the turret, but it's going to get to the point in the game that we've seen with Shyvanas and Hekarims alike, where they just don't care. They just take it up, get a few pot shots through there, able to take it down. And now, Swiper, he's getting even more focus on him in this bottom lane.
Yeah, there are 4 members here on the bottom side of the map. Swiper spots them out with a decent ward and does have a fair amount of wave clear, as you can see. Righteous Glory completed, does have the Ninja Tabi as well, looking to get even tankier as this game goes on.
Wow, and this is very Udapon out of Radier. He was the one setting up the bush camp this time. Thinks he's firmly in control of the lane as Udapon going for his double Doran special, trying to get some more life steal in there and also just some more dueling potential, but he was the one that actually left the lane this time around.
Yeah, he doesn't have the control that he's used to here. Of course, very aggressive on that. On any AD carry that he's playing.
Yeah,
I mean,
period.
my goodness. Yeah, ever. Just in general. 30 CS down, though, is this Sivir, and doesn't have the kills at all. 0-1 and 0 in comparison to the 1-0-3 here for Radier.
Kazu trying to hold up the wave here. That's very aggressive coming through, but it will be cleared out by Siros, who's picked up the Leandries Torment now. Also has a blasting one. Still the components of the Morellonomicon coming through.
It's like he's trying to build a, you know, Wooglet's Witch Cap from the Twisted Tree Line.
I don't even know what that is, Atlas. I'm not going to pretend I do.
It's just a tree line, man.
Yep. I know what that is.
Yeah,
I just don't know what a Wooglet's Witch Cap is.
It's like a Zonya's. I just know the name of the item and what it builds out of. It's basically Zonya's and Death Cap mixed together.
Okay, no worries. Thank you for that information that will take up precious space in my brain. As we see Detonation FocusMe.
I've got plenty more.
Going towards another dragon. This time they don't have the teleport available on Shyvana. So once again, they use Astatore on Rek'Sai to be able to pressure that lane. Shyvana, as you said, just picked that one up. But the Chiefs doing a pretty good job of clearing out the tunnels coming through here. So they might actually have an advantage here and might be able to get their first dragon of the game.
Yeah, Spooks actually had the opportunity to try and take down that tunnel, but
that
decides
damage
not
is
to.
So rough coming through from Zeros. They need to be able to catch someone because you can see that's only 2 missiles coming through. They weren't even the big one, and Rosie already at half health.
Yeah, and Radier actually taking one of those as well. As speaking of missiles, the Prey Seeker going to come down. Swipe having to deal with that as well.
But Radier is so strong at this point in the game. I mean, he's got the...
yeah, this is a Phantom Dancer in comparison to a Brawler's Glove
yeah.
on the side of Udapongo.
But the poke, just too much coming through here. You see they're in complete control of this siege around the Dragon area. They're sending 3 members back now. And straight away, Detonation FocusMe, they start it up.
Yeah, they've got a ward over the side here as well. You can see Spooks able to
giving
see
it up
this dragon.
Again, this is a 3rd dragon in the game. Once again, Chiefs, they feel like they're stronger. They just can't fight.
And they're unable to make the decisive moves in this game. And that's exactly what you have to be doing against a comp that's going to poke you out.
Exactly right. They've now got the Warmogs finished on Shyvana. She is absolutely massive. As far as 2 items go, effective health pool, that is huge coming through.
Yeah, they're the best.
Yeah. Outright the best. She's absolute monster. Not even a half dragon anymore. We'll give her the full dragon award coming through, but
Oh, never go full dragon.
we've seen the Chiefs, they're struggling in the decisive play. They've got the gold advantage, but they definitely don't have any objective advantage. And you think, with how Detonation FocusMe are playing, 12 minutes time, oh, Kazu.
Yeah, there's the Dark Binding. Spooks actually gets the body slam as well. The hula hoop goes around him, but that's only because Kazu died a little bit too quickly.
Yeah, exactly right. Deathcat was picked up. Actually misplaced his damage there, Swiffer. Didn't need all of the extra coming through from the ultimate. And now they might be able to siege out mid, although 3 members already rotating across. Creep wave decimated by this Corki, who just does ridiculous poke damage, and they're not going to be able to get it done.
Yeah, not going to be able to take that one down. And I don't blame Swiffer, because even when you're playing Orianna, it's really hard to understand quite how much more powerful you get when you pick up that Rabadon's Death Cap, as well as the Athenes. It's a crazy power boost.
So they might get the first real meaningful objective here. They are able to pick up Corki's blue. That means that he won't be able to spam out the missiles as much as possible. You see, he's actually running relatively so they may be able to get the mid lane turret just off a good invade coming through in the jungle.
Yeah, nicely done. But the Chiefs, they sort of don't really care about many of the objectives around this map. They've taken 1 turret. That was almost incidental because Radio wanted to get to probably the creep wave behind it. They really need to start prioritizing taking down these structures.
Yeah, they certainly do, especially with the late game carry like a Shyvana on the other team going to come up absolutely massive in the late game. So I agree, they need to be able to get to a point where they can take down structures and maybe in the next 5-10 minutes. Otherwise, it's going to start creeping up on them. The 5th dragon, it always sneaks up on you. You think the dragon, especially with how early Detonation FocusMe took it. Remember, they took it whilst the Chiefs were grabbing their 2nd blue.
Yeah.
So it was about the 10-minute mark coming through there, and they're already on 3. Mustn't have been, yeah. So they're on track for, as we said, like the 35-minute dragon, the 5th dragon that will come through and just put them in great steads.
Yeah, and the thing is, at that stage, they can continue to get 5th dragons as well. Void Staff has been completed by Seros, as you point out. He's been sitting on the components of that Morellonomicon for a long time.
And it's really weird because they're very gold inefficient components when they're combined. One of the most gold efficient items in the game. So the ability to sit on them is a little bit strange coming through from Seros. It isn't the most, I guess, gold. It's not the most gold-thirsty build coming through. As the Chiefs now forcing in the mid lane. They can't dive as we... Oh, wow.
Seros gets exploded. Spooks picks up a really nice ultimate there to gather himself most of the wave clear, and definitely all the wave clear in the lane as there's a split push coming through from the Sivir. Spooks trying to get some work done. Bonzing going to teleport in here. Oh, beautiful shockwave. Kazu gets exploded by the piercing light, and the Chiefs, they're finally making the decisive plays, but Yuta he might be able to take down an inhibitor turret.
No, he certainly won't. Swiper's on his way there. They will back away. They'll trade the 2-for-1 turret. As Yuta needs to be very careful here. He might give up an inhibitor and his life instead.
Yeah, and who has sticking power more than a Maokai? I don't know who. Does he have the flash, though? He does have it available, but no twisted advance. But look, the inhibitor turret's falling down. Mid lane inhibitor gonna follow as the Chiefs, they hit the go button at about 26 minutes.
Yeah, exactly right. They're now fighting
Bonzen,
again.
though, ulting into this fight. The huge dragon in amongst it, but he's just getting torn apart. Not enough effective statistics. The culling tearing apart the Corki as well as Yuta. His back was stopped for so incredibly long, and he's now on the top side of the map.
Yeah, so he will be able to get back, but they save the turret. They break the base. All of a sudden, the side waves have so much effective gold. The Chiefs have finally managed to get the real meaningful objectives they were looking for.
Oh, yeah.
And it came off a huge Gragas play from Spooks. 4-0-2. He has been the spark that the Chiefs have been waiting for. And he's got Radier in there. He's got Swiffer in there. He's been the playmaker that the whole team has been able to gather around this game.
He was the hero that they were looking for, most definitely, Spawn. Void Staff going to be completed outright, I believe, here for Swiffer. The Trinity, the trifecta of mid lane items there. The 3 items, probably much better. I believe trifecta has something to do with how horses come in a race, so it has nothing to do with the amount of items. But that is 3 brilliant ones coming through for Swiffer, irrespective of whether I'm correct or not.
It certainly
Seros
is. Still hasn't got the
well.
boots too, so Swiffer, he did this on his LeBlanc as well. Obviously doesn't prioritize boots too. movement is actually a very good stat on Orianna, so...
We've seen Alacrity boots being picked up very, very
Yeah,
early.
Alacrity Aether Wisp is like a very common build right now.
Very common build with Godby in the LPL.
To just get yourself around the map a little bit quicker, also be able to get more effective damage through, as they might actually look to trade Baron for Dragon here. Swiper gets the read, able to put down a ward. Now maybe the collapse, but Udapon once again, he seems to have one... I'm going to throw out a name. Lots of people know him. His name's Double Lift.
Yeah, no, heard of that guy. Heard of that guy.
Seems to have a very similar playstyle to Season 2, Double Lift.
Yeah, my team, they've stopped being able to win team fights. What do? Never be with them.
Yeah, exactly right. Soak as much farm as you can in the bottom lane until you can 1v5.
Man, Seros does not want to finish that Morellonomicon. He got the Home Guard enchant instead of it. He got all sorts of different things.
Maybe he doesn't know they build into an item, wanted them separately, and now just can't figure it out. That's not the case. Just very strange.
I'm not
item
sure whether
purchases.
anyone has ever
and
decided to build a forbidden
desperation,
item.
Baron coming through teleport so soon. He's going to get collapsed on.
Yeah, hey guys, we've got a ward here. Swiper though, that ultimate not quite tanking up enough, but there's the culling tearing apart. Detonation FocusMe. Swiper just explodes Kazu as Swiper comes in as well. Does get a lot of work done before falling as Udapongo going to flash away. Nice boomerang. Does a fair bit of damage, but they lose Swiper for 2.
Yeah, so able to pick up 2. They stop the Baron. More importantly, they pick up the Dragon. So they're able to get a lot of work done around the map again. Minion waves pushing in their favor. One thing we have criticized the Chiefs for is not having great side wave control, so they're going to have to go sort that out. And you would think maybe the next objective will be that top lane, as you see the ridiculous damage Radier is currently doing.
Yeah, Radier's Lucian has always been incredibly strong, but sort of fell out of his kit of champions moving forward, but this season picked it back up again, and man, he looks good.
Yeah, he kind of fell out of everyone's kit, and then all of a sudden people were like, wow, he still does exactly what he used to do, just like 10 less base damage. Why did we never like keep playing this
why
guy?
did we stop playing him? Yeah, I believe he played it in more than 50% of his games in 2014. So definitely played a whole lot of Lucian. The beginning of the season, in fact, it was almost the sole champion he played.
Yeah, so Detonation FocusMe. They're now able to get around the Baron area, and they've got some good wards out there. So Detonation FocusMe, they understand what their team comp needs to do. They've fallen a little bit behind. Can't win the team fights anymore, so they've started the split push.
Anymore? Have they won one before?
Yeah, they were in a much better position to be able to win a team fight earlier when they were equal in gold. So now they're sending Bonzen into the bottom lane to continue to push out. Once again, still very few people can go with the Shyvana. But the Chiefs, they don't really care because they've got an open inhibitor in the mid lane. They can just start a fight.
Yeah, they don't need to siege. There's no turret to worry about. This inhibitor really going to open up the map for the Chiefs. And with 5 members here, teleport's available from Bonzen, but it's going to take a while for him to get in there. He is going to use it. The flank is going to be coming in as he launches his way into the backside. Radier manages to dash out of the way. Nice tidal wave. Going to lock up the Chiefs just a little bit as Asteroid going to tank up that culling. Detonation FocusMe, though, they are backing off. Swiper engaging on top of the Dragon, who's down to quite a small health bar here. As the shockwave on Seros as well. He can't do anything, and the explosive cast locks up Asteroid. He's using that as a pick tool, is Spooks, and he's doing so beautifully, netting them the inhibitor. The Chiefs, they can go get a Baron. They can do whatever they like.
And the Chiefs, once again through Spooks and a good barrel zoning out, but Swiffer Shockwave, 2 priority targets. He kept it on Swiper for a long time, put it on the other side of the inhibitor just for zoning purposes, and they've put another person.
Yeah, Radier, oh my goodness. Swiffer and Radier's damage is silly, and Udapongo was there for a second, and then he's dead.
Yeah, they need to be careful. This Baron's still very risky. Syros is available, and he does very good poke damage, not to mention the fact that Rek'Sai ultimate is up. I think they need to pull off this one, and overcommit coming through from the Chiefs.
Yeah, command attack is going to get that ball into position there as well.
They actually might have given it up
poke.
in response. Udapon only 20 seconds away. No, they will all just peel away. Bonzen will go get the massive wave top. He is now like 70 CS ahead of Swiper.
No.
He is absolutely huge.
So big. And he doesn't have any damage items, of course, but we saw he tanked up so much in that last team fight. But Detonation FocusMe, they didn't follow up with their Shyvana engage at all.
Yeah, they don't really have much follow-up to come through, to be honest, Atlas. They need to poke out a lot more with Syros. That's why Trinity Force is kind of a better option as a first item, because it gives you some more
He finished the
skirmishing
Morellonomicon, though.
power. He has finished up the Morellonomicon, but the full AP, Corky, just isn't doing the same thing as what the hybrid Corki was doing in their victory.
Yeah, like auto attacks. This guy, none of them whatsoever.
Maybe he goes for the Lich Bane.
I hope so.
Gives a whole different meaning to the Phosphorus Bomb auto attack proc.
Yeah, that's a Phosphorus Bomb ridiculous proc coming through there. We'll see whether he builds up a death cap as well. That would be silly damage to come through from that particular combo.
Radiant still not going for a defensive item, by the way. He's picked up
got a
pickaxe.
Bloodthirster.
Yeah, it's true. Pseudo-defensive coming through there, of course, with the shield, but not much armor finished up, even though he is going towards that last Whisper.
Yeah, Swiffer as well. Full damage here so far. Might be building towards that Zhonya's Hourglass, although I really hope it is going to be that Luden's Echo here for the Orianna.
Bottom lane finally in the Chiefs' favor. They've managed to get their side waves firmly under control. They will probably be able to pick up a Baron off this if they move very quickly, because that is a huge creep wave.
Yeah, there's still a lot of vision around it for Detonation FocusMe. Asteroid going to be easily able to finish off this creep wave underneath the turret knocking on the door, but that's the jungler a long way away. He does have a few tunnels prepared, so that Void Rush going to be helpful as Spooks. He's over the wall. Bonzen in through the backside, though, as Detonation FocusMe do manage to stop the Chiefs from taking down this Baron, but Yuta again caught out of position, exploded by a barrel. And man, we have seen this jungle Gragas from multiple players this tournament go completely ballistic.
And this is why I thought we weren't going to see it again. Spook's obviously very comfortable on it. There's some very good late game junglers, and Gragas being one of them is just a huge threat.
Oh, Dark Binding lands on Asteroid here as well. Flashes out of the way of that shockwave, means that he can't flash over the wall here. The Baron down to 2,000 health. Are they going to be able to smite his way? Oh my goodness, no, it is not going to be the steal as Bonzen. He's going to fall out for it. Swiffer picks up a kill as well. That was way too close, Chiefs. A bit of sloppy play, but they do manage to turn it around.
Yeah, so they're able to pick it up against a Shyvana with Smite as well as a Rek'Sai with Smite.
That's the strongest smite on the map, though. Bonzen had the biggest smite
The
there.
only person that didn't smite Atlas was the Gragas. And in the end, it went over to the Maokai. So you said it was too close. It was just somewhere between ridiculous and I don't know how the heck they got it.
Yeah, between those two statuses that are pretty normal.
Exactly right.
But in the end, the Chiefs, they do manage to do what they were expected to do there. Of course, maybe not necessarily as cleanly as they would have liked, but the inhibitor turret going to fall down.
Saros again.
Oh my goodness, Spooks' ultimates have been fantastic. Yuta Pongo getting exploded. Radiant going down low, though, forced to use that flash, but man, that red buff doing some work. And Kazu, this has been a very, very melty mermaid lady.
Yeah, it certainly has been, and they're moving it even further. Shockwave.
Oh, the shockwave on the last two members. Detonation FocusMe. Not a lot left in the tank as the quadra kill comes through from Radiant. The hard carry Lucian. 9-0 and 5. 5-0 and 11. The Chiefs' scoreline's looking fantastic. It was a more difficult early game than they otherwise would have liked, but still finish up with a 13,000 gold lead. And our Oceanic side now making 3-2.
Yeah, so they're looking much better to be able to make that playoff push one more game, and you see much happier. The big hugs coming through between Spooks and Swiper.
And you know, Swiper always with a grin on his face, but he's grinning a little bit more than normal here. And the Chiefs definitely looking happy after that one.
Yeah, they certainly are. So they dropped 2 games. One on day 1, one on day 2, the only one, but they're able to pick up the first win of the day versus Detonation FocusMe, who once again played a good brand of League of Legends. They were able to crush down the early structures. They were able to take the first couple of dragons. In the end, they just couldn't team fight with the composition they put together. I really do question Siros's item build there. I think if he had the Trinity Force, they were in a position to nearly even win that game.
Yeah.
With how they were playing the early.
Well, their objective play at the beginning of the game was fantastic. They were able to get that early advantage.
Yeah, exactly right. They had control over the entirety of the map.
Yeah.
If you time that with the Trinity Force and Boots 2 Spike on Corki, not much can keep you behind. But unfortunately, with that loss, Detonation FocusMe now no longer able to make the playoffs. So their last game today, which I think is against Besiktas, is just for Besiktas to try and make that late game push. Once again, Detonation FocusMe not playing for a spot.
Yeah, and I believe Besiktas are going to be going for that 3-3 with that particular game. So 3-2 with that game. Can actually 3-3. My production Oh, my goodness. My producer trying to tell me, and he has managed to. They're 3-2 now, going for that 4-2. 2-3. I have no idea what's going on.
Okay, so they're 2-3. They're looking for a 3-3. They have the head-to-head with the Chiefs. So if in the end the Chiefs lose to the Bangkok Titans, Besiktas win, that means that Besiktas go through.
Thank goodness you understand, because I'm just losing my mind. My goodness. Let's go to a replay, though, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get us off your screen and get into this game, because the Chiefs, this is one of the ones that looked very, very good.
Yeah, so it certainly did. Bonson, he's trying to do what he wants to do in the mid-game split push, but because of the fact that the Chiefs had already taken down the first inhibitor turret, he's forced to start a fight. So when we roll this one out, Bonson teleports to that ward on the bottom right part of your screen. And when that happens, the Chiefs kind of just collapse back really quickly, and it's impressive because they're able to protect Radiant. Bonson flies on top of him, but you see all the peel comes through. Spooks Swiper up the front, being that beefy front line, and all of a sudden, the engage tool, the one engage tool that they have on the lineup of Detonation FocusMe is used. So Swiper, he zones well. The ball goes over to the other side, and a huge shockwave comes through, forcing Syros out of the fight. Another good Gragas barrel through from Spooks secures a kill.
That was a massive bubble, though, on the backside.
And from there, they're just able to take down the inhibitor, walk out of the base, set up control over the rest of the map. When you take an inhibitor and you have 3 outer turrets still up, there's just so much standing gold. Even if that point you're only a couple of 1,000 gold up, you can nearly make it 5,000 just because through the super waves pushing and not having a good tool to deal with them. You know, the teleport was just burnt before that team fight. No longer can Shyvana push out the mid wave and teleport to one of the side waves. You're just able to take the rest of the standing objectives.
Yeah, that's right. It's all sort of free gold then sitting on the map. And if it is in the bottom side, you can also potentially be picking up that Baron at the same time. That leaves that one open. There are certainly far more options given to you. So that is huge. We are going to have a replay of the last team fight. And the Chiefs, this is something that they definitely know how to do if they may have been a little bit behind in the strategic play early on.
Yeah, exactly right. They're a fantastic team fighting organization. You see Bonson and Astatori, they're already down. That was from the Baron earlier where they got caught in the pit, but they're about to respawn. But the Chiefs, they just hit the go button. You see Swiper's tanking it up. We roll this one through, and Gragas once again just goes in, gets a flash body slam, barrel back onto Syros. He gets blown up, and then Radier just decides that he wants to duel Utapon on the back. Red buff burns him down, good calculations, and they just keep going. This is one thing that the Chiefs will do to teams, and teams need to look out for, is go in on the team fights.
Yeah, but Spooks is waiting alongside with an interview.
You can say that you have dominated this game. Did you have any tactics in mind, or did you just improvise?
So basically, we just pick the strongest comp we can and just like make the best of it. Essentially, we identify our win conditions, and once we do that, we play accordingly. So in this case, we wanted the standard lanes, we forced the level 1, and yeah, it just went smoothly from the start.
So, although she's not an extremely popular champion, Orianna was always been in the meta. Was that a specific reason that you choose this champion?
Yeah, Ori is, well, first of all, we were blind picking, so Orianna is a very strong blind pick because there's no real champion that counters her too hard, aside from maybe like a strong mid lane champ with jungle pressure. But yeah, aside from that, like, she did suit our team comp. She just offers like a lot of wave clear and team fight potential, so she's just a really solid blue side pick.
So, in case you have qualified for the semifinals, which team do you not want to see as your opponent?
I guess we feel confident that we can beat every team here. If we play our best, I feel that we can beat every team. But I guess maybe I would say Ints are probably the strongest team. It's hard to say. It's because the tournament in itself has been so close. Like every team has, like, one team has beaten the best team and then they've lost to like, yeah, just like as long as we just focus on our own game and hopefully it goes well.
Okay. Is there anything you want to say to your fans or to your supporters?
I just want to say hi to my Oceania fans back home. Thanks for supporting us, and any like new fans that hopefully we've gained from this tournament. Thanks for jumping on board, and we hope to play well in the future.
Thank you for the interview. Now we're back to Scarlet.
Thank you very much. And Man, Spooks is adorable. I'm just
He's
going
a
to say it right
politician.
now.
I'm just going to say that right now. He shrouded every answer he had. Oh, we think we're the strongest. We don't really mind who we want to play. Why did you pick Oriana? Threw out a reason out there that wasn't even a reason. It wasn't a blind pick.
Pretty sure they knew.
Sibber and Corky. He was just, he gave nothing away in that interview. You can't really blame him because everything's on the line.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. Doesn't want to give up anything, and most certainly didn't. May have even thrown out some curveballs. But ladies and gentlemen, we're only 2 matches in, 3 more to go with maybe some tiebreakers. We're going to have a short break, though. We'll be back with the third game right after this.